All right, welcome to video number 2 for 7.RP goal 2, RP1 goal 2, and this is mainly found in section 6.8 for dilations. So in this, we are still comparing unit rates with lengths and areas, and in this you're going to be paying a close attention to coordinate grids. And with coordinate grids, one thing that we need to pay close attention to is when you see a coordinate pair like 3, 2, the 3 belongs to the x and the 2 belongs to the y. So x is along the ground and y goes up and down. So when we are thinking this, if we're thinking 3, 2, we're going over 3 points and up 2 points. Okay, so there is our point. We're talking coordinate planes here. All right, so let's start with our very first thing. So we're talking about what's called dilations. Dilations are a reduction or an enlargement of an original. So a reduction or enlargement of an original object. So I say when we hear the word dilation, we think that it's going to maybe get smaller. But dilation could actually make something like this become very big, or it can make it become very small. And dilation is all based off of what's called scale factor. And we will talk about that in the next video, but I know you've heard that in 7th grade. So scale factor tells us whether we need to go, if it's above 1, if our scale factor is 1 or greater, then it's going to become bigger. If it's less than 1, then it will be smaller. So that's kind of fun. Let's go on and start a little bit of this. So we are playing around with the concept of scale factor, and one thing that we need to pay attention to with this is if we're looking at an original point, so xy, and we add if we need to put some dilation to it, the dilation is signified with the letter k, and I'm actually going to redo that, maybe not. A dilation is represented with a k. So a k is equal to our scale factor. And so if we put that and multiply this by x and this by y, we get a new point, and that shows the new point for our dilation. Kind of cool. So taking this concept, let's work on this next problem. We have a problem like this, okay? So what we have here is this funky little trapezoid. Its points are K, J, N, and M. And what somebody apparently wants us to do is we need to change the scale factor to 1/2. So we need to shrink this thing down to half the size. Half is also equal to 0.5. So first things first, we need to find the points, and the points are written down here, but let's make sure they're right. We have to go, it says point J is at 2, 4, so 2 represents the x, so we go 1, 2, and then we go up 4 points. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, J is at the right spot. We can also check K, so over 2, x, over 2, and then up 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Good, K is at the right spot. M, it's at 8, 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then up 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Good. And N is at 8, 2. So over 8 and up 2. Good. N is at 2. So now let's use the concept of scale factor, this 0.5, and let's shrink these babies down. So we're going to find J prime. And that little dash that I put there and erased, that little dash shows me that it's not the original J, but it's sort of a changed J somehow. So what we can do is we can take our scale factor of 1/2, or you can do 0.5, and we're going to multiply it by our original point, which was 2. And we're going to do that for both the x and the y coordinate. Okay? And we'll do that with k as well. K prime is a half of 2 and half of 6. M prime is half of 8 and half of 6. And we're going to do that with n prime as well. Half of 8 and half of 2. So if we do that math, we then end up with j prime having the coordinates 1, 1. K prime will have the coordinates 1, 3. M prime will have the coordinates 4, 3. And n prime will have the coordinates 4, 1. So now we can graph this, and I'm going to graph it in a little bit of red so I can see it. So j prime, we're going to go to point 1, 1. So over 1, up 1. There's j prime. K prime is over 1, up 3. So 1, 2, 3. That's our K prime. Our M prime is over 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and up 3, 1, 2, 3. That's our M prime. And our N prime is over 4, up 1. I don't like this very much. Where is my mistake? Oh, my mistake is right here. I'm sure you guys all noticed. The 4 right here should be, instead of being a 2, it should be a 4, so this should be a 2. So my j prime is actually in the wrong spot, so let's fix that. J prime is actually where about the j is. So there's my j prime, and this is my n prime. So if I attach all the dots, connect the dots, we end up with a similar, however, smaller figure to our original. Be careful of little mistakes, just like mine, just right there. Be careful of those. So now let's go on and do one more problem. So we need to actually find the scale factor. So let's try to figure out what are we multiplying by or what are we dividing by. So our original shape is this shape with the darker blue. We have B, which is 0, 2. We have A, which is 1, negative 2, and C, which is negative 2, negative 1. And our dilation, B prime ends up being 0, 4. A prime ends up being 2, negative 4. And C prime ends up being negative 4, negative 2. So let's pick one point. Let's look at B, our original, of 0, 2. And let's look at its dilation of B prime of 0, 4. So looking at this, we can look at the individual parts of the point. So let's look at the y's because the x's are the same. That's not going to tell us anything. They're both 0. But how do we get from 2 to 4? Well, we need to multiply it by 2. I think that could be our scale factor to get from B to B prime. So let's see if that works and holds true for A to A prime. We have 1, negative 2. We need to see where A prime is going to go, which is 2, negative 4. So let's see if that works. If I go from 1 to 2 and multiply by 2, yep, I get from 1 to 2 pretty easily. Negative 2, if I multiply by 2, I get negative 4. Awesome possum. It all works out. So finding the scale factor ended up being easier than we thought. So the scale factor is 2 in this case. Now start to work on the homework or the problems for this particular section. Don't forget to pay attention to the x versus y coordinates. X is on the ground, it goes sideways, horizontal, and y goes up and down. So pay attention to that. And I hope this helps for understanding the second part of Goal 2 for 7.RP.1.